Hey, welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf out here on the street today. We are at Van Nuys Airport in Van Nuys, California. It is a amazingly busy private jet hub, one of the biggest there. We got a huge parking lot across the way here, lots full at the flyaway for the private aviation here at Van Nuys Airport. And this ties into the question that hopefully brought you to participate in this conversation. And this is a conversation, so bring your comments, your questions. This is live 21st century television. It's interactive. So, you see over here some nice private jets. And I wanted to ask, there's a huge leadership error that is made time and time again. Breaks my heart to keep seeing it. And it really affects whether you're flying coach or whether you're flying private jet. And it affects metaphorically, and it could be literally as too. It affects your team as well. And the leadership error is building a fire department. Are you building a fire department at your company? So think about this. As an entrepreneur, what behavior do you reward, right? There are many, many people. I've worked with them. I was one. I are a recovering engineer. That's about managing risk. It's about solving problems. Well, what happens when there's no problems to solve? People tend to create them. They tend to find more. Are you creating a fire department in your company? What had me thinking about this was listening to someone with a doctorate talking about leadership on a podcast that I was streaming while driving. And here's the thing. It was all about, you know what? Leadership is all about firefighting, not firefighting, not their words. It was about solving problems, and it was a very intense, reasoned conversation. It would sound well on public TV, on PBS, because it's one of those, let's see. And it really is. Leadership really is about solving problems most of the time. And the questions, the insights were all revolving around that. Do you believe that? Is that your experience as a leader, as an entrepreneur, building your business? It's all about problem solving? Now, look, I get it. There's a ton of problems that need to get solved. But from a leadership standpoint, is that what leadership's really all about? Is that what your role in your business is about? Because what happens is you hire people who are good problem solvers. So what do? They solve problems, right? You reward them for solving problems. You may give them a promotion because they're really good at solving problems. And when there's no problems to solve, what happens? Because all they know how to do is solve problems. They firefight, right? Just fires blowing up all over the place in your company, metaphorically speaking again, and they put them out. And they get lauded. They get awards for Employee of the Month. You give them promotions, more money. You create a department and have them then teach other people and mentor other people. And hey, how can we become the best firefighting team? That team grows. Everybody's fighting fires. And then all of a sudden, you get to the point where all the fires have been handled. All the problems have been handled. They've been put to bed. Now things can run smoothly, but they don't. Why? Think about that. Why don't they really run smoothly? Because you've created an organization full of arsonists. They're fighting fires. If there is no fire to fight, they are going to create one. They're going to start a fire. They're going to light a fire in order to be able to put it out and get rewarded for it. Because it doesn't matter that they started the fire, right? See this a lot in big organizations. I watch this and it's like, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Start the problem, to create a problem where there wasn't one, because it can't run smoothly. If it runs smoothly, there's no fire to put out. If there's no fire to put out, then how can I get promoted, right? How can I get recognized as a high-performing employee? Because I'm not solving the problem. I'm not firefighting, right? It's crisis management. It becomes addictive. And they've got this whole fire department, so they will. They start the fire, put it out, get rewarded, because we're not paying attention to the starting of the fire. We're paying attention to who's putting the fire out. The point here is that is not what leadership is about completely. Your role as a leader, you want to have a high-performing team? How do you get a high-performing team? Now think about this. Think about this. I looked at that when, got a bunch of examples from past experiences. One would be the book that I wrote last summer. The case study that was based on was a situation where we had a team that had never done anything but do problem solving, firefighting, crisis management. All they did was move from area to area within the factory to solve crisis level problems. So they had to be fast response. Put it out, get it done now. Okay, it's high drama. Oh, high five, great. Now we'll move on to the next one. Oh, something's trucks pulling in to unload and receiving, but we need to move cars in the parking lot, kind of a thing, right? It could be something small, it could be something really dramatic, but that was all they did. Then when we changed the production flow so that 80-90% of what they were doing now didn't occur, the problems that they were solving, we fixed them so they would not recur as a matter of policy, as a matter of routine, how the process ran. And at that point, they're suddenly going, well, now what are we going to do? Right? So then they began creating problems where there weren't problems. Some of them were just flat out invented. It's like it's not really a problem, but they were doing it. They resisted being involved with some of the teams that we put together to run the new processes that didn't involve the crisis management and the firefighting, but they didn't want to do that because that wasn't how they had built their careers. So then what do you do, right? So we really worked with them. Some made the transition, some didn't. Some decided to move on, which is good. That's fair. It's not fair to the employee or to the team and the company to keep them there if that's not how they want to operate, if that's not what they're good at, right? So they found positions at other companies where they thrive and they could be good firefighters, good crisis managers. The leadership, really, something for your consideration. Isn't leadership more about developing the people within your company so that they can thrive? So you can find what is the best in them. What are their skills? What are their gifts? Where are they heading in life? How can the experience being on their team help them get there while at the same time serving the needs of the company? And the more that you hone that skill, the more, the example that I just used, one of the things we did was in developing the team and developing the people with helping them achieve their potential was make it obvious that they had a misalignment with where they're at. Continuing to work there wasn't going to get them where they wanted to go. So it was release them back into the job pool. And they were able to quickly find very, good jobs. In some cases, there was some assistance for being able to connect them where possible. So it wasn't done in a heartless, we're just going to cut heads, cut payroll type of a perspective. There was a lot of thought that went into how can we best help them with moving along so that they will be able to achieve more. And those that stayed were able to get farther down the road where they wanted to go in life by being part of the team, and they honed new skills. So everybody had a sense of more flying private jet as opposed to flying coach, because now they had more control in their destiny, more control in their lives. They were achieving more of their potential. They had a mindset shift in a lot of ways. And who wouldn't want to have that in their life, metaphorically speaking, as opposed to being stuck in coach? So, food for thought. Thanks for being, got to get back on the highway. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Have an awesome holiday season. I'm Wolf. This is Wolf's Watch, and I will see you on the trail.